Meeting for the Shafter Planning Commission. All commissioners are present except for Commissioner Pfizer and Wiebe with excused absences. We'll go ahead and start tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Joshon, followed by invocation by Vice Chairman France.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
the republic for which it stands.
Bow in prayer. Dear Lord, we ask for your presence tonight as we go over some of the business of the city. Lord, we pray for clear minds, good discussion, and good decision making. Lord, we pray that you continue to bless us with good weather this spring and be with all of our industry as we have started this new year and move into new growing seasons and new harvest. Lord, we ask these things in your name. Amen.
Well, let's start the meeting off if I can get a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Commissioner Joshon,
Aye.
France,
Aye.
and Sanchez.
Aye. We'll move on and ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting dated February 13th, 2024.
I'll make the motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
Commissioner Joshon,
Aye.
France,
Aye.
and Sanchez.
Aye. Move to the next portion of the meeting, which is dedicated to public comment. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons wanting to address the commission only on matters not listed on this agenda. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes unless additional time is needed for translation. Please state your name and address for the record before making your presentation. There's no one in the audience tonight. Vanessa, anyone on Zoom requesting? Seeing no one wishing to speak for public comment, we'll close the public comment at this time. We'll move on to the public hearing. We'll open the public hearing at this time, and I'll ask staff to present item number 1.
Yes, Honorable Commission, this item is a development agreement number 23-21 for revised track 7244, which is in the Marcona Preserve Specific Plan area and makes up the major portion of the Marcona Preserve Specific Plan. This gives you a sense of the site. It's just to the west of the now developing Gossamer Grove Specific Plan area. It's in between 2 canals, the Fry and Kern and the Callaway Canal. This gives you a sense of what the revised tentative tract looks like. As you're well aware, we did a specific plan amendment recently where that site, that open area to the northeast of this tract is that former school site that has now, at a future date, they may bring down another tentative tract to have a number of additional homes on that property rather than a school site. This development agreement is between Lennar Homes of California and the city of Shafter. Tentative tract 7, revised tentative tract 7244 has 395 residential lots. The lots range in size from about 5,500 square feet to 22,223 square feet. There's one really big corner lot in there, so that's a pretty nice sized lot, 22,200. The tract itself is about 126 gross acres. In compliance with Government Code Section 65864 at sequence, enables cities to enter into development agreements with applicants. That is the nexus with state law that allows for development agreements. The highlights of this specific development agreement are that developing agreements with the city is primarily to lock down impact fees. And so the impact fees that are part of this DA is up to 15,000 K traffic impact fee per dwelling unit and up to $6,000 park impact fee per unit, or The developer can build their own parks as Lennar does generally with their developments. And therefore, the 6,000 per unit fee would be waived if they built and then transferred over the parks to the city. There's also an up to 10,000 per dwelling unit sewer impact fee and an up to 20,000 per unit miscellaneous impact fee. This would go towards future things like the aquatic center, public facilities, things like that. Currently, there is no impact fee with regards to miscellaneous impacts, but at a future date, there may be, and then they would be imposed. It also, the development agreement also maintains that the minimum size of dwelling units is at least 1,400 square feet throughout the tract, and that there's a formation of a community facilities district for the tract that goes on the tax dole to support police and fire protection services. And with that, staff's recommendation is to conduct a hearing and then adopt resolution number 23-430 that recommends approval of development agreement 23-21 for revised tentative tract map 7244 to the city council. And with that, that ends my presentation, and I'd be open to any questions or comments you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. And then we have a memo, two memos on this.
That's actually going to be for item number 3.
Thank you. 7447. Lots of fours.
Yes, yes.
Specific to the fire and police, I believe, remind me that we've, on the neighboring development, there's plans or there has been a cutout for those two services on that property. Would they not service this, or am I
No,
mistaken? there?
no. Yes, there's going to be a fire station, a police station in Gossamer Grove specific plan area. But that subdivision or those two substations, a fire station and a police substation, would also serve Marcona Preserve, and then ultimately even to further to the west, the Mission Lake specific plan area. This is basically ongoing tax that is put on the property tax for every resident that supports the
Right.
cost of providing police and fire protection services.
Got it. But that build out had these further developments in it to put those substations.
Yeah, we already have there's a fee, a one-time fee to build the station, and we actually got we were gifted the money from Lennar, gifted not the money, but the land to build the fire station and police substation. There's actually also going to be a little satellite library out in that area. This is for the ongoing costs of police and fire protection services, salaries, things of that nature.
Which if there's any further developments to the west, they're going to have the same cost each time we.
Exactly. As we develop Mission Lakes, there would be, Gossamer Grove is under a development agreement, and it was a development agreement that occurred a number of years ago. So it's a little different than this one. This is our latest and greatest sort of development agreement. Now Marcona Preserve, as a condition of their tract map, has to enter into a development agreement. The same will occur with Mission Lakes. They will too, as a condition of a future tentative tract map. They're still at the just with a specific plan, although they're gearing up to start producing tentative tract maps for Mission Lakes. One of the conditions of that tentative map will that they enter into a development agreement as well. Probably very similar to this development agreement. And in fact, we're already in negotiations with the 3 owners we're developing that development agreement, and we're using this one as the template for that next one.
Any further? We'll open this for public comment. Anyone would like to comment on item number 1? Anyone on Zoom? Seeing no one, will close public comment on item number 1, and we'll move on to item number 2. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Guess I could,
Yeah, gotta close it and then
Close
actually,
the public
actually
hearing.
vote.
yeah, we'll close the public hearing on item number one and ask for a motion regarding item number one. Entertain a motion.
Sure. I make a motion that we adopt resolution number 23-430, recommending that the city council of the city of Shafter adopt development agreement number 23-21 for revised tentative track number 7244.
And I'll second.
Commissioner Joshua,
Aye.
Grant,
Aye.
and Sanchez.
Aye. Okay, we'll now move on to item number two and ask staff to present item number two.
Good afternoon, Commission. This is Alan Casares presenting on CUP number 24-141. Oh, this one. Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. All righty, my apologies. So this is the vicinity map of the project site. So this is currently the site of kindergarten to eighth grade charter school known as Grow Academy, previously referred to as a Grimway Academy. The zoning designation for this site is R-1 or a low-density residential. Now, to backtrack on the project, this was originally approved under conditional use permit 16-79 back in 2016. And the reason a conditional use permit was originally needed for this project is that any public or private educational institution within a residential zone district requires a conditional use permit. And so that was thereafter permitted and approved. And now the applicant, Grow Academy, would like to expand their campus to the south. This southern expansion was not originally included in the original CUP 16-79. And any intensification or expansion of a conditionally permitted use requires a modification to an existing CUP. And it is then required to be processed in the same manner as original CUP, which is why the applicant was asked to apply for a new CUP, thus being a 24-141. And so for this CUP, really all they want to do is add additional classrooms to improve their student to teacher ratio. So they're proposing 2 modular classrooms and two portable temporary classrooms and 1 modular classroom. Additionally, they're proposing a outdoor athletic complex, which would include 2 soccer fields, 3 basketball courts, and other hard courts. So there's not much to the expansion. It is exempt from CEQA under Class 14 exemption, which is for minor additions to classrooms. As you can see here, this is the elevation for the modular building. This is for the temporary buildings. And so, yeah, there's not much to this project, really. It's just to increase the recreational opportunities that are offered to the students and to improve the learning environment by being able to hire more teachers and thus divvy up the amount of students that they have per classroom. So staff's recommendation to the council is that they approve CUP 24-141 with the adopted, and they adopt the findings and approve the proposed conditions of approval. And that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, please let me know. Also, I will note Elizabeth Avenue to the south of the site is currently unimproved, and that is a condition of approval of the original CUP. And so the applicant has been informed that at the time when they begin to develop the site, they will have to provide those public improvements for Elizabeth Avenue.
So they'll be required to improve it from east to west
On their street frontage, correct?
on their street frontage.
So as of right now, there's a new development to the southwest, right?
Correct. I believe it's the South Help Housing, track 6713.
And that's, those street improvements already been made. We're just moving
Correct.
farther to the east now, right?
Yes.
Are they bringing in, just knowing or looking at this elevation, is it the similar build as was original when they built
Yes,
the
so,
school out in 2016?
right, so the elevations for the temporary portable classrooms match 4 other temporary classrooms that they currently have on site. And I believe what they're proposing is that they would get rid of those whenever their temporary land use permit for those 6 portable classrooms expires. So they're just a temporary solution until the time when I believe they will propose more classrooms. Yeah.
Seeing no other questions from commissioners. Oh, sorry. Vanessa, anyone on Zoom wishing to comment? How you doing tonight? Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, my name is Steve McLean. I'm the Chief Business Officer for Grow Public Schools that operates the Grow Academy in Shafter. And I just wanted to thank the commission and thank Alan and Steve and the rest of the team there, Ravi and Dennis, just for their support during this process as we're proud to be part of the Shafter community with our school there. And just thank you for your consideration.
Thank you for everything you guys do and your dedication to education in the city of Shafter.
Thank you.
Any other people on Zoom wishing to comment, Vanessa? No one in the audience or anyone else wishing to comment on this item will close public comment. And I'll entertain a motion on item number 2.
Motion to adopt resolution number 24-436, approving conditional use permit number 24-141.
I'll second that motion.
Commissioner Joshan,
Aye.
Franz,
Aye.
and Sanchez.
Aye. We'll move on to item number 3 and open the public hearing on item number 3 now. Staff to present.
Yeah, so this is item number 3, tentative tract map number 7447. Thank you. Alrighty, so this project here, tentative tract map, is in the Gossamer Grove specific plan area. Previously, this project was a part of tract 7388 phase 1, which had been approved and recorded as a final map. This specific section of Gossamer Grove's tract 7388 phase 1 was originally envisioned for, I believe, 80 residential lots. All of those lots were zoned for estate purposes, so they were larger lot sizes, very low density residential. However, the developer Lennar Homes then applied for a specific plan amendment 23-07, I believe, so that planning area number 2, which was this northern section of 7388 phase 1, would be rezoned for, or 32.6 acres would be rezoned for low density residential. It was so approved by the Planning Commission and the City Council in 2023. And so now the applicant has submitted a tentative tract map that remerges and re-subdivides this project area into 145 single-family residential lots, which would be an increase of 60 homes from what was originally proposed. And so now the lot sizes have decreased dramatically to the range between 4,000 to 13,000 square foot lots. And it also includes a provision for a public park and a nature trail. As you can see here, this shows the map of how 7447 relates to tract 7388. 7388 was originally 345 total lots, but now with the new additions in 7447, this entire area outlined in blue and red would be 413 residential lots from my understanding. And so you can see here, this is a map of what the previous proposal was under the final map for 7388 Phase 1. And here now you can see how there's a lot more single-family residential lots being included. Not much has changed besides the number of lots, so the street improvements and easements and park dedications would remain the same. And so upon reviewing this map, we found it consistent with the general plan, the Gossamer Grove specific plan, and all subsequent amendments. We also find that it substantially conforms to the Subdivision Map Act and the city's Title 16 or the subdivision ordinance. And all of the uses and the design are compatible with adjacent properties of the remainder of the Gossamer Grove area. We also believe that the conditions of approval are sufficient for this map to be approved. We did receive agency comments from the Kern County Fire Department, the San Joaquin Valley Air Pollution Control District, North Kern Water Storage District, and other public entities. All of the requirements and concerns that they have been addressed and included in the conditions of approval. We also find that this project is exempt under CEQA in compliance with the previous programmatic EIR that was approved for the Gossamer Grove specific plan area. And there is a development agreement in place for this project. So staff's recommendation now to the commission is that you adopt resolution number 24437, recommending the city council to approve the tentative tract map. If the commission does approve, staff recommends or is tentatively proposing to take the tentative tract map to the April 2nd city council public hearing. That in mind, that concludes my presentation.
One thing I would like to further note is that the addition of the 60 homes in the tract as comparison to 7318 Phase 1, the overall number of homes in Gossamer Grove has not changed. They moved homes around, but the overall homes and therefore the overall environmental effect of Gossamer Grove has not changed as a result of this new tentative tract.
So in follow-up to that, does that mean that the most recent adopted housing element update, this has no impact on that either?
Absolutely not, because the total number of homes in Gossamer Grove remains the same. They're just moving homes around. They're densifying this area, but they're actually reducing the density in another area. So overall, it's a wash.
Would you anticipate as additional revisions to tracks come to this commission that would stay consistent? They're not going to add additional homes where the densities are changing?
They were trying not to, and the reason being is if you intensify development, you reopen CEQA. If you are moving things around, we can make the argument that the overall environmental effects have already previously been analyzed under that EIR for the original Gossamer Grove approval. And so every time they've asked for a specific plan amendment, they've asked for tweaks, but they've never asked for an increase in the total number of homes.
And I see we've received a couple of memos on this item. One regarding traffic from a citizen, I believe, right?
Yes, correct. After the public comment deadline, we received the email from a Mr. Scott Reed, raised the concern regarding traffic on Callaway and Coffee Road going southbound into Bakersfield from Gossamer Grove specific plan area. I provided my response here on this memo, basically informing him that those two streets fall under the jurisdiction of the city of Bakersfield, and if any improvements were to be made, they would be dictated by a private by future private improvements. If those developers along those street frontages want to improve their sites, the city of Bakersfield would then require them to improve it, and subsequently that would improve the circulation there. Additionally, I also mentioned that we need more housing. It's mandated by the state that we continue to make progress on our regional housing needs allocation. And additionally, as more industrial development continues to take place in the city, in order to maintain a jobs and housing balance, it is important that we as the labor force increases, that we also try to streamline housing to meet that growing demand.
As you mentioned first, and Director Esselman has said that this does not change
Right.
the intensity of
Correct.
the amount of houses,
Yes.
so. Valid comment, but doesn't change the overall what the plan already was out there, or the approved plan.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and that should have been conveyed to Mr. Scott Reed. And so, yeah, I can follow back with him.
And no follow-up to your follow-up?
What was that?
There was no additional response to the staff response?
No, not as of yet. And then unless there's another question on that memorandum.
Go ahead.
Okay. The other memorandum is from the applicant or the applicant's engineering firm, Quadnock. So they had reviewed the conditions of approval, and there were 3 conditions that they wanted to modify. Very minor modifications. As you can see, condition 22, really all they wanted to remove was that there was no need to connect the utilities to the east of the proposed tract, since that tract to the east is completely built out already and has the proper utilities in place. And then condition 55 was just changing 7 Standard Road to Gossamer Grove Boulevard because it was the appropriate street for the connections. And then condition 132 was just adding some waivers of direct access that had been missed. And that was my own error. But yes, very minor corrections. Staff agrees with those changes in condition and still continues to recommend approval.
Any other questions from commissioners?
So on the, if there is to be a motion conducted, do we need to reference this memo? Okay,
As far as the 3 amendments, we can just address those by numbers of the amendment. Oh. Any other questions for staff? We'll open this item number to public comment. If anyone's on Zoom wishing to comment. Okay. Seeing no one wishing to comment, we'll close public comment at this time. And I'll entertain a motion regarding item number 3, as well as the amendments associated with item number 3.
no more questions from you?
No more questions for me.
I will make a motion that we adopt resolution number 24-437, recommending approval of tentative track number 7447 as depicted in Exhibit A, and inclusive of the March 7, 2024 memorandum to the Planning Commission. And we're recommending approval to the City Council.
And I'll second.
Do we need to address the conditions?
So in the motion, we are referencing the memorandum to amend condition 22, 55, 132.
And I'll second.
Commissioner Joshan,
Aye.
Franz,
Aye.
and Sanchez.
Aye. We'll close the public hearing at this time. I'm sorry. I guess we should take a vote on item number 3. I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, we already did it, right? It's been one of those days. So, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at this time and move on. If any commissioners have any reports to address. I don't have any. No, and I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
And I'll second.